So this video, we're going to talk about how kids can help out in the kitchen. So typically when kids want to help in the kitchen, sometimes it can sound like a drag or that they'll get in the way. I know I feel like that sometimes when my daughter wants to help out in the kitchen or wants me to play with her. But they're actually really great ways that kids can be involved in tasks that you might even think is way too simple that they would not be interested. But kids can help out in the kitchen as young as a year and a half or 2 years old or even younger, depends how independent and how well they can stand on their own and are coordinated somewhat. But even something as simple as getting them to bring you the ingredients, that is something so fun. I know my daughter really loves doing that even if I asked her to carry the salt to the counter or carrying the tomatoes from the fridge to the counter, like that is so exciting for her. And even when you're mixing something and you just tell them to mix at the end too, or at the beginning, and just say like 5 stirs and you guys can count together. And it's a great way to even just do a little bit of learning, like numbers and counting and things like that. As your kids get older, they can help you scoop and pour ingredients into a bowl if you're baking or if you're cooking. And they can also, as they get older too, they can start measuring things as well. So this is also a great way to learn about like half cup measurements, a quarter cup measurements, what teaspoons and tablespoons are, and things like that. And those are actually very helpful life skills that they can carry with them forever. So that they can also start following recipes too when they start reading as well. And these are ways that you can build up skills little by little so that they can be somewhat independent in the kitchen as well. So continuing on what we talked about, trying new foods, sometimes it's hard for kids to come around eating vegetables, or maybe they were really good with eating vegetables when they were a baby, and then as they got older and started to develop certain food preferences, they ate less and less or preferred vegetables less and less. So it's easier said than done, but I would definitely encourage you to never stop providing vegetables at meals or snacks. It's some ways that we can try to encourage kids to eat more vegetables is one, either getting them involved in preparing the vegetables or getting them involved in suggesting vegetables that you guys should have during your meals. So if they happen to go grocery shopping with you, or you're planning what to make for dinner at home in the kitchen, we can present to kids options. So I would encourage to refrain from asking them as an open-ended question. Maybe for older kids, this would be a good way to open-ended might work, but sometimes there's so many different kinds of vegetables, it's hard for that to come to mind really for kids. So multiple choice is something I would always recommend is the way to go. So for example, whether you're in the grocery store or you're standing in front of your fridge with your child, it could be like, should we have celery or zucchini or broccoli for dinner? Or should we have carrots and broccoli? Or should we have red peppers and zucchini for dinner? And so that multiple choice helps kids make a choice, and also it's good to have them feel like that they had a say in what was going to be part of their meal, and kids are more likely to participate or to try the foods on their plate when it comes time to eat. And also if you're comfortable, you can also have them involved in cooking the vegetables. Finding different ways to cook the same vegetable that your kids may not be fond of is also a great way for them to continue to experiment or try different ways of eating the same food. So for example, if your child is not a fan of, say, zucchini, you can try different ways of making it. So whether it's having it in a stir fry instead, or putting them on a skewer and barbecuing them or grilling them, or cutting them up into little circles that look like chips and baking them with salt and a little bit of pepper. And those are different ways that kids can really come along with trying vegetables in different ways. Sometimes it's really just the flavor. So even just experimenting with different kinds of flavors, like whether it's more of like a salt and pepper, or it could be like with a little bit of garlic powder, or a little bit of ranch mix, or a Greek mix, or an Italian mix, any kind of different flavor profiles. And texture could be the thing, and that's where it's different ways of cooking, like grilling or barbecuing, steaming, stir frying, or baking or roasting. So the sky's the limit in that way.